How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Dirt&Gears. This is episode 2 of the Cr250 project. Today we're going to install this tricked out 20mm offset triple clamp set. We're going to grease this lower bearing. I'm going to pack the top bearing and assemble it on the bike. Want to put some grease on your finger? You should put a glove for this, but hey. You want to apply it in the crack on top. Try and push it in there. Well, this is how you pack a bearing. You take the bearing out of its package. You open up a tube of marine grease. Take some of that, put it at the bottom of your hand. Like so. You want to pack it this way, like this. To shove it in there, into the bearing, into the crack. There's a crack here in between those two. You want to shove it in there until it spews out. So you want to rebuild your forks. Now you're going to need to either leave the triple clamps on the bike or leave the forks on the bike and loosen these two pieces on top of the forks. I highly recommend you have a workshop manual to do this job. If you're not sure of something, go in the book, make sure to read properly, take your time. Don't go too quickly on this job. It'll go a long way. This isn't the real tool, by the way, but it works. It's a adjustable pipe nut wrench. I think that's what it's called. Anyways, don't quote me on that. So you want to loosen the middle part first. This under part out here. Mine's kind of stuck in there. A wee bit of oil in there. And keep this oil out. And then I'm loosen this one. You don't want any dirt in your front shock. So I'm going to let these drip into the bucket. I'll come back when they're mostly dry. And then you want to clamp this in the vise. If it's not obvious, you want to put rags in your vise or wooden jaws or something to not mar up your forks. And this should be pretty tight. As you can tell. Probably going to rebuild just one of these on camera because there's no point doing two. I'm going to remove this and this. Do not lose any parts. Pop this desk seal off. Here, as you can tell, there's a clip holding the seal hinge. All you have to do is take a pick or a flat screwdriver Let's snap that off. Take this part out. I just made a mess on the ground. Here in this part, there's a spring. So then you just split this here. And you take this one out. Now this, guys, is why you want to change your fork oil. It's disgusting. The next clip will be of me polishing, well, wet sanding and polishing these tubes. You don't want to sand this down a lot, and you want to do it in a twisting motion. Let me show you up close. This is a surface finish we want to achieve here, and this is what I'm trying to get rid of. There's a couple scratches. Wet sand, wet or dry sandpaper. It doesn't have to be this brand, it's just this what I got. 2000 grit. I'm gonna put some double D40 on it. Wet sand this like this. And you don't want to slide back and forth at all. You want to stay at the same spot, move. Then when you get a surface finish that looks like this, you want to do the same thing with a 3000 grit. It's like a sponge. It's not really like sandpaper. Put a little bit on there. You should get a finish that looks like this. And then you want to clean it with acetone. This is very powerful stuff. You should wear gloves. I should be wearing gloves. Then you want to use some metal polishing compound. Circular motion. Wax on with one cloth, wax off with another. So this is the before and after. This is after, this is before. Don't know if you can see that on camera, but there's a couple lines on there. I can't tell while looking at the camera itself, but there's a couple lines there, and this one doesn't have them anymore. Now for reassembly, you want to make absolutely sure that everything is 100% clean and dust free. I don't know if you can see it in there. If it's not clean, you'll get dirt in there, you'll damage all the new parts you're putting in, this thing will wear out faster, and you'll have a bad day. So, you want to get these protective clips. There's 2 different sizes in the kit, depending on the year of your motorcycle. I install those outside. What they do is they protect the body of the shock against the protectors. There's like plastic protectors that go on your forks. One's getting worn out, you see here. It was wearing on there because it's supposed to look like this. It was looking like that. Dropped it on the floor. It was looking like that. So now you're ready to reassemble. You're gonna need a piece of plastic bag like this. I've already done the other side. I'm only gonna show you this once. You wanna slide in your dust seal. This is the dust seal. It has one orientation. It has a shoulder on this side. The shoulder goes towards the bottom of the shock, like so. You want to take your time to install this. You do not want to ruin these. Then you want to install one of these retainers. You can take this plastic off to do that. Down here. Then the seal. The seal has one way. You only go one way. there's a raised section. That raised section goes down towards this, like this. You don't want to put it the other way around. There's a washer that goes behind it. See how it sits flush this way? If you flip it around, it does not work. You can see the spring in there. You do not want that. You want it to fit flush to it. I'm gonna put some grease, a little bit of grease in the seal. You can put oil. These seals will not last as long if you put only oil. You want to take your time. You do not want to rip the bag or rip the seal. Then you install the washer. There's a rounded portion of the washer. It goes towards the seal, and the flat portion goes towards the top of the shock. You then want to take this bushing out of the bag, slide it on here, and then you want to take the other bushing, which locks everything in place, in here, spread it out. Okay, you want to reassemble. You're going to put a slim coat of grease on these races, slash bearing, slash bushing, slash whatever you want to call them. Take your fork tube and your fork body, and marry them together. Something goes down. The last bushing, tube, bearing, whatever you want to call it, will have to go in with a little bit of strength. So I might have to use 2 screwdrivers. Make sure it's in there proper. You're going to slide the seal like this, as far as you can in there. Wipe the excess grease off of this part of the tube. I don't know if I'm in the way. Then, I'm going to clean this part of the tube. Nice and dry. You want to be very careful while installing this tape. You want to have a nice flat surface when you're done taping it. But take your time. This. So, what you want, if I can give you a closer shot, it's a nice flat face like this on this side. Now, this one isn't perfect, but it'll work. You want and you want to install this clip in here. You want to push it in with a screwdriver and hear this satisfying click sound. If it doesn't click, you're not done yet. Aha! That was the click sound I wanted to hear. Now you take the tape off. I don't know if I got this in the shot, but you want to push this until it shoulders directly on the seat, on the shock body. Then you drop the shock in there. Then you want to put your shock dampening rod into a vise in a level position with the tube extended fully. See, this tube moves. And you want to put the factory recommended fluid amount. So for the fork damper, Honda recommends 180 cc, which is 180 milliliters of liquid, or 5 to 10 millimeter. And what that means, what you mean by a 5 to 10 millimeter is in the fork damper, you put oil, and there's a notch in there, and you measure from the notch 5 to 10 millimeters up. That's a sure way of putting the right amount of oil. I got my ruler, It's all made of millimeters, centimeters and millimeters. I got the oil. They say 5 weight. I'm not sponsored by Bel-Ray, just that's what I have. I'll start by putting 150 milliliters. Damping rod, excessively slow, up and down. I don't know if I want to put it completely. Yes. And take your time. I'm gonna do this until all the air is out. Then I do the rest by eye. I add some a little in there. Then I take my little ruler and I butt it up against the notch. Actually, you get 10 millimeters. Almost right on the money. Right on the money, 10 millimeters. I call that good. And then I'm gonna reinstall this piece. I'm gonna use a socket. And I'm gonna tighten it down, snug it in there. Okay. So. This is what it should do. So. Now I'm gonna re-stick this dampener rod back into the shock tube. Slide this piece in here. I guess I can do it like this. This. Stick something in here. Just to give it a good snug fit. So on the 2001 models, or the 2000 models, these are the standard amount of oil, minimum amount of oil, and the maximum amount of oil. In my case, on my fork tubes, there's a written note. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Right here. Well, right there it says 385, so that's what I'm going to be putting in there. This is 300. And then you tighten this cap and you're done. So I finished rebuilding one of the forks. I'll rebuild the other one off camera. On the next time on the next video, part 3, we'll be putting these forks on the bike. Then we'll be playing with the front and rear wheels. And if we're lucky, we might end up having 2 finished wheels with tires on it. And by the next video, I'll probably have the front wheel on the bike. So stick around. See you next time.